Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai visto adesso con te. Adesso si li vivrò con te. Partirò. Sonavi per mari che io lo so, non esistono più. It's time to say goodbye.
Quando sei lontana sogno all'orizzonte e manca le parole. E io sì lo so che sei con me, con me. Tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me. Mio sole, tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so. When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up shoulders, you raise me up to more than I can be. Raise me up to more than I can be.
Dear Muchhala family, um, it has indeed been a very touching service this morning, very peaceful. Certainly, Bharat Bhai would be very pleased in the manner how everything was taken care of and the way you took care of everybody. I think he has left his mark in the world, and listening to the eulogies of everybody, you can see that he was somebody who was selfless, genuinely cared, and made sure that the world was a better place as he left. What I remember Bharat Bhai for always is for his beautiful smile, the beautiful life that he led. Both Sapna and I share that he was one of the most beautiful souls that we have come across, and we pray for his Atma to be his eternal bliss, and that there is peace and comfort for the family, and we wish only the best for all of you. God bless.
It's been such an honor to be here to celebrate Dad's life, and I'm so thankful that entire Rocky Patel Segar family is here together to celebrate Dad's life in the place he loved the most. There's always going to be a void. I'm going to miss Dad, but I know he's here in his favorite place, surrounded by all the people he loves. Love you, Dad. I'm going to carry your light forward. I'm going to miss you, but you're always going to be by my side.
He was an icon for me, one of the greatest guys that I know. And we had a 40-year relationship. I looked for advice from him all the time. We literally interacted every week on the phone, and I will greatly miss him. And wherever he is, I know he's looking down on all of us, and with his calm demeanor and a beautiful smile. Thank you.
You're everything I wish I could be. I would fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? I pray you'll be alright and watch us where we go.
All I can say is that from the time that I met Mr. B, he just had such an amazing heart. He was always so loving and caring and always put so much detail and effort into everything that he did, and you could really see that. And just by getting to know his family and his wife, I could see how much love he has. I remember the first time I got to know Mrs. B and Mr. B on a more personal level. They invited us to go to his house for dinner, and I had brought Rocky's parents, and it was just the 5 of us, and they cooked a beautiful Indian dinner, and we laughed, and we had such a great time, and Mr. B was just so sweet and welcoming in his home, and I will never forget that, and I'll never forget to see that the love that he had for Rocky and all of the people around him. Rest in peace, Mr. B. We'll miss you.
Ricordarci
When stars go out each night,
eterna stella sei nella mia preghiera.
let this be our prayer.
Quanta fede
When
c'è
shall fill our day,
lead us to a place,
guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved.
sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e di speranza. Ognuno dia l'amore al suo vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. La forza che ci dà.
We ask that life be
Masa was an incredible person, very sincere, genuine, very warm and kind, loved by so many, and we are going to miss him dearly. Om Shanti.
Let this be our prayer. Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child,
Just like every child, need to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved.
e la fede che hai acceso in noi
Love you, Mr. B. Dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dream that you did to, why, oh, why can't I?
Who lives with us forever. All of us have our stories.
No.
No. McLean would not spend this money. Bless Mr. B. Bless his soul. Mr. B.
Careful, Rocky.
So we only got half Walker. Only half insurance.
It was very difficult today at the funeral house to really express all the things and the accomplishments and the pride and joy that I have about Mr. B. And everything you see today in this office, this warehouse, could not have happened without him. And, you know, this business is very, very complicated, and I just want to say that I've never met a human being that is Superman. And he was responsible for so many different things that involved not only the mothership, but all the transient businesses that we had, all the things you had to do for the family side of the business, everything from visas, passports, licenses, sales tax. I mean, this is a very complicated business, especially when you're in tobacco. We have a lot of regulation on the state side, on the federal side. We had, and we started this business with 3 people out of basically a garage. And we built it up to 3,500 employees. And this could not have happened without Mr. B. We have factories in Honduras. We have factories in Nicaragua. We have farms in Nicaragua. We buy tobacco from 14 different countries all over the world. And imagine keeping track of inventory of millions and millions of dollars of tobacco. Imagine 3,500 employees, some working at the farm, some working in curing, some working in fermentation, some working at the factory in Nicaragua, some working at the factory in Honduras. On top of it, 5 different burn lounges. On top of it, the mothership and the employees that are here.
2,700 tobacco stores, you know, sales tax, tobacco licenses, you know, my private banking, estate planning, taking care of my parents' stuff, taking care of all our family stuff, income tax returns. His hands were in every single thing, and he was one of the most organized human beings I've ever met. I don't know how somebody could, every invoice, and we were building houses, every general contractor, subcontractor, every single bill, every single payment, if we bought lighters, if we bought ashtrays, if we bought t-shirts, promotional materials, every invoice went past his desk, and he approved every single thing. The answer was no, 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 show me why. No, no, no. The man was amazing, amazing financially. His brilliance, his genius, his vision. It didn't matter if you got into backhoes and construction, he knew. And people go, what does he know about construction? He knew, he learned, he did the research, he educated himself. It didn't matter what business we got into, he educated himself, and 4 days later he had a business plan. If I went to him, I said, Mr. B, somebody wants me to invest in 100 apartment buildings. 4 days later, he had a plan, and he would tell you, this is the interest, this is the pitfalls, this is the benefits, this is what you do, blah, blah, blah. It was a master, just a master. But the unconditional love that he had, and he did it out of pride. He worked so hard, and then he left here at 7 p.m. at night, went to the house, took care of his mother, cooked dinner for his mother. The guy was just a gem. If I said, Mr. B, I need you at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning for a meeting with an attorney, with an accountant, with a lawyer, he was there, prepared with a spreadsheet, with everything. He would educate people, like, oh my God, like somebody from Goldman Sachs would come in and goes, no, 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 you charge too much. This account, I don't understand, I don't understand. You have these stocks, you just ride it out for 10 years. Oh, no, no, no. When the market goes up, we want to sell, take advantage, you know, long-term tax gains, sell the product, and move on. We want to take I don't understand. We don't want to go up and down for 10 years. I mean, he would take on the top people from Goldman Sachs. He'd work with our bankers, with our lawyers, every contract. He'd look through the contract, and then he'd give it to me and go, look at the red line. These are the issues. And we had multiple different companies. We had so many different transactions going on around the world. We were dealing with Europe, 158 different countries, different tax stamps, different licenses, different health warnings, registration with the FDA. I was very involved in Washington, D.C. He was very involved. It was amazing the capability that the Superman had, because he was organized, he was thorough, but at the same time, he had his family. And he loved his family. So the values that he generated, and he took care, like I mentioned earlier, my grandfather, my father. I mean, we needed visas to go to India. My parents needed this, they needed that, passport, this, that. He handled everything. He was just truly amazing and unreplaceable. And this building that you see, all our success that you see is very much welcome because of Mr. B. Could not have happened without him, and I don't know how I'm going to replace him. I'll never replace him. He's a hero in my heart. I learned him. Everybody in this room loves him. He's a very special human being, very endearing to me, and we love you so much, but he taught us a lesson in life, and that will never be forgotten. So, here's to Mr. B. Cheers to Mr. B. Mr. B. Love you, Mr. B. Salute, Mr. B. Salute. There you go. Cheers. Xander.
Oh, it's me.
Xander, come on.
That's great.
Can I have a double shot?
Now, if there was, let me start this by saying there's few people that Mr. B would get into serious debates and arguments with. There's one person, I'm not going to mention his name, but this would be the second person. He's been hired and fired 4 times, and if there was ever arguments in the company about what happened, this was the guy.
This is a tall order to follow Clay, then to follow Rocky, and to sum up a man's existence on this planet is very difficult. It certainly is difficult for me, and I've realized now that I haven't had enough to drink, but I'm going to give it a really good shot. Bharat was very special to me, and I know that he was special to everybody in this room. And Clay said, I think that everything has been said that needs to be said. And two words came to me. The first word was irreplaceable. I guess it was three words, actually. The first word was irreplaceable, and the second was karmic value. And I think that the family hit home many times today when we talked about Bharat and what Bharat had given back. And for somebody like me, I see Mr. B way too often in all of my business dealings. Every time I read a contract and every time I read an email, every time I respond to somebody, I can see Bharat saying to me, stop, Sammy, slow down, refocus. Refocus on what you're going to say and refocus on the meaning of what you're going to say. And I don't think that Bharat did this just for me. I think that he did it for everybody. Obviously on a higher altitude with Rakesh and with everybody in the building. And I think that when you look at somebody like Mr. B and what he brought to the table, Rocky's right, the building, the growth, the accounting software, everything that he brought forward to Rocky Patel, you see it, it's all around you. But I think what you don't see is what he gave to me, what he gave to Irma, what he gave to Christopher, what he gave to Nishit, and everybody else that worked in the building. And the scoldings were amazing. I can't begin to tell you how passionate Mr. B was about your expenses. And it's been a minute since I worked directly for Rakesh, but he would get very passionate, and I'll give you a for instance. You must never do this thing. I said, why are you upset? I am not upset. When you seem upset, I am not upset. But you must never do this thing. Bharat was one in a million, in a bazillion. And the trust factor that everybody had in this room with Bharat can never, ever, ever be replaced. He owns my heart, as he did for so many of you here. And he will forever live on in every email and every contract that I read from now until the time that I am in the ground. And I can say to the family, he loved you so very much. I used to tease him when I would come back from lunch, which we were really never technically allowed to do. Rocky would remind us over and over again about how lazy we were and the fact that we may as well put our feet on our desks and drink pina coladas with the little umbrellas in them. But I was so engulfed in the Indian culture, and I would come back from lunch, and I may get in trouble for saying this, Mrs. B, but he had panpad.
No, panpad.
I knew I would screw it up. But for months this happened, and then one day Mr. B says to me, this is no more, we cannot do this anymore. And I said, why? He said, my wife said no. He said, you will understand one day when you are married. And then we changed to salted lassi. And salted lassi was really great, and then my waist began to expand, so then there was no more salted lassi. And I just wanted to say to everybody that was here today, that we're all here obviously for Mr. B, and this will forever leave a hole in all of our hearts, the fact that he is departed. But the love that he shared for everybody in this room, whether it was true, raw, relatable family, or somebody that he had met on the street, the kindness and the graciousness of this man, I've never seen in another person. And I will forever love him and be grateful for all of you and loaning him to us for however many years he was with this company. So if we can raise our glasses for just a moment. Here's to Mr. B.
Mr. B.
And from us, Mr. B, his memory forward from now until all of us are on the ground. We love you, Mr. B.
Mr. B.
All right, now I get it.
Best is last.
Gotta rock in your shoes.
Why do I get to follow up Sandy so full of shit? I mean, excuse me. I'm sorry. Well, I'm a totally different story. I had guys like Sammy and Clay and soon to be Nemish all grew up with Rocky, where I've known Rocky for 26 years, but I joined the company about 15 years ago. And I came from a total
different culture. I was with Nestle, I was with Carnation Company, I was with the Fortune 500s. And I remember coming in here my first day and saying, well, let me see the sales reports, let's dig into the numbers and all that. And Mr. B went like this to me, and I walked into his office and he goes, what do you want to know? And I started asking him, well, I need to know what our numbers are, what's our last 5 years of history, what are our profit numbers, what is the sales force budget, are we under, are we above, boom, boom, boom. And he goes, stop. I said, okay. And I remember Rocky saying, don't make this IBM. I said, so he goes, tell me about your family. Because I have never met Mr. B. I knew Rocky and Nish and Image, but I did not know Mr. B. And I go, wow, that's cool. So I sat there and told him about my wife and my 4 children. And we talked back and forth. And he truly, from that moment, there wasn't a day that went by in what, 15 years, he doesn't ask me how one of my children are doing, or all of them. He took an extreme interest in myself, and my wife Nancy over there, and our children. And all the companies I've been with, they could care less about your family or your children. And I said, wow, we're in the right place. And a man with that big a heart, with all the responsibilities your husband had, and he cared about my children. And I have such respect for him, and for you, and your family. And he meant the world to me, and I learned a lot. Him and I used to get in arguments because sales and accounting don't seem to get along. My goals are totally different than accounting's, right? I just said, well, just give me more money. I'm going to get the numbers, okay? All we care about numbers, and they care about profits. Got to figure that one out, right? But we had a very good working relationship. We had admirable respect. Yes, he got mad at me at times, and yes, he said, no, 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 no. And I looked at him and said, no, 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 no to you. If I don't make this number, I'm the one that gets in trouble, not you, Mr. B. But it has been purely a blessing to have worked with Mr. B for the years I have. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the experiences that I've been through with him. And really being a part of the Patel family is amazing. And if I had to do it all over again, I would have joined them 26 years ago. So, thank everybody. Love everybody. He'll always be part of my heart and our okay. Thank you.
You can't stand up on that.
No, I can't stand up on that. No, I agree with you. I think everyone said everything you can about Mr. B, but I'm going to say a couple of stories about Mr. B. I don't even think Rocky knows about one of them. So maybe 6-7 years ago, we got this shipment from Placencia, and it was like $20,000, $30,000, and Mr. B goes, "Nimitz, we didn't send an invoice." I said, "All right, that's good. We don't have to pay for it." "No, we have to pay for it. Mr. B, it's free. We don't have an invoice. We don't have to." "No, Nimitz, we have to pay for it." I sent him an email. 3 months later, Mr. B comes to me. "Where's the invoice?" I said, "Mr. B, look, I sent an email. Nimitz, we have to pay for it." Okay, so I call him with Mr. B. We need the invoice. They tell me, Mr. B, they're sending the invoice. Long story short, they never sent the invoice. Mr. B still says, "You may not be happy." And then another one, we were at our trade show in Las Vegas. Mrs. B, you were there. We had dinner at the Thai restaurant. And we all ate all night. No. The trade show. And then Rocky brings all this food out. And then at the end, while everyone's full, these lobsters. And I said, "Mr. B, you have to try this lobster." "Nimitz, I would try it, but Mrs. B is sick." I don't think you do that. So listen, Mr. B was a great gentleman. He was definitely part of our family. He was definitely family to us. And I think most people are here, so salute Mr. B. We love you. We'll never forget you.
Try.
Come on, Nash.
No, Well, to all of you that travel long and far, and all our friends that are here on the professional side, work for the company, we love you all very much. Stay around. Let's have some few cocktails. I know we have a puja tomorrow. We got something else. Relax, enjoy. This is what Mr. B would want.
And share stories.
And share stories. So here we are. Here's to the only endearing Superman that I know, a legend of all time. Here's to Mr. B. Mr. B. Salute. Mr. B. Mrs. B, stay strong. We're with you. Unseen, we're with you. We're with you. You have a great supportive family. We're always here to support you because he is part of our family. Here's to him. Mr. B. Hurry on. Cheers.
Mrs. B. Mrs. B, we're always going to be there for you. Always.
Mr. B was the best.
I want to hear more skydiving stories.
Yeah!
I never knew who
I
skydiving.
didn't do that either. That was
Anybody
amazing.
else want to
We want to hear some skydiving stories or some
Oh,
college
let's get
stories.
some of the family members. Anybody want to say something? Come on. Come on, please.
Yeah, we want to hear stories. Go
Go right here.
We want to know about his womanizing.
High diving.
See, Bharat, first of all, on behalf of the family, thank you. It's meant a lot to be here. It's a place where you go. So much discussion. I spoke to him. And he would tell me, I really enjoyed it. And, you know, I was married to Tina for 40 years. So, known the gentleman for 40 years. Never once, he looked out for his own personal issues. He looked out for the interest of everybody. And that's the greatest part of this man. So I do not have feelings. I mean, he was, a jovial man, and I had great conversation with him. But I have to admit that, a lot of my conversations with him were very serious and related to tax policies, regulations in India. Okay, how you create foreign businesses, which is what I also read, and so we had a great interaction. And but most gratifying thing was to know that all these 10, 15 years that he spent here, he was among all of you, and all of you loved him. And that as a part of the family, I can say that we are most thankful and gratified that you took care of him. But he was here. Thank you.
He took care of us. He took care of us. It's ironic that the gods are crying tonight because this was supposed to be at my house, but I think you much prefer to be at his home.
Yes.
Right?
This is great.
So,
Yes, absolutely.
Anybody else? Tim? Anyone wants to say something? Come on. So Tim is our banker for Fifth Third. Mr. B dealt with him on a weekly basis with every single get up and go ahead. He basically dealt with everything we had to do from all our loans, businesses.
He never said no to me though. Maybe I was doing something right. When I joined the firm, he was the very first client I met. My background is not commercial banking. I was in private industry for 24 years prior to that. So I understood what he was doing on his side of the table, understood his challenges with Rocky, good and bad. But, he was just an incredible man. He always talked about his family. When he's talked about the trip to Hawaii today, brought back memories of having that conversation. But he was a strong professional, but he had the heart from a family standpoint. And that's what I see a lot of companies. Rocky Patel Premium Cigar is truly a family. And that's important. And you saw Rocky today, for those of you who were there at the funeral, he had a hard time keeping it together because of his personal relationship of a half a decade with Bharat. Mr. B was an incredible man. And I want you guys to know that, his family, his granddaughter, his daughter, his wife, just how much he loved you guys. Everything he did was for you guys. Everything he did was for everybody else here. One of the most selfish individuals I ever knew, but he ruled with an iron fist. And I respected that. And I'm really going to miss him. Really going to miss him. He's one of a kind. So thank you for this opportunity.
Anybody else from the family want to say a few words? All right, let's enjoy the night. Here's to Mr. B.
Thank you.
Cheers.